Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Again, I'm not doing another car video because I haven't had anything go wrong with the car. But what I am doing is I'm doing a Pico De Gallo recipe. So, let me turn the light on so it's easier to see. All right, so as you can see right here, I've already pre-cut the onion, white onion, and the tomato. All right, and do you see the proportions? Okay, so I pretty much did about a baseball, 2 baseball onions and a bunch of these Roma tomatoes. I'm going to show you how I cut these up. It takes a while. But here you go. I cut it in little slices like this. Make sure you have a good sharp knife. All right, I'm putting, making the slices here, being careful to keep my fingers out of the way. All right. All right, now once you get to the end piece, don't throw that away. So what you're gonna wanna do is hold the top and shave off the bottom piece. Hold the top and shave off the bottom piece like that. You see that? And then you're just swiping it right there. I leave this for the end and I will slice that up. Anyway, the way I do it is I keep your fingers out of the way. I will slice these into rows like so. And line up my rows, and then I'm gonna go crossways. All right, and then I see a few pieces that didn't get the square treatment there. All right, there you go. I get that. All right, now I get it on my knife like so, and I dump it right inside. Get it right in there. And for the last piece, don't let that go to waste. Make some rows out of that one too. Take them off and get another, chop it up a little bit like that, okay? It still tastes like tomato, it's fine. All right, now for the cilantro. All right, so this is not parsley, this is cilantro. Let me show you what to do. So it comes in a bunch like this. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna take out sickly looking pieces like this. Take them out, get them out of the way, get the sickly pieces out. All right, that one's probably okay. I'm gonna have a look inside. Aha, here's another sickly piece. Get that one out of there. All right, now what do? We're gonna rinse it off with a little bit of water. So take it, get it here, don't twist it. Just like, if you don't do this, sometimes cilantro has a grit inside. I don't know what it's from. Probably a sandy soil they grow it in. But anyway, here we go. I'm gonna flop it. I'm gonna flop it. All right, here we go. So how do you get this? How do you take care of the cilantro? All right, here's what we do. You guys seeing this? All right, for the cilantro, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take each stalk. All right, let me get rid of this. Get rid of the bad ones. All right, every stalk, what I want you to do is take your fingers and take those off, just like that. All right, and set the stalks aside. And it takes a while, but at the end of the day, you're not gonna have so many stalks inside your Pico De Gallo. It's not very appetizing. All right, so to save you guys the pain of going through every single stalk. Oh, and this also gives you an opportunity to look for the bad ones again. All right, so set the bad ones away. So I'm gonna save you guys the pain of watching me do this, and I'm gonna fast forward the video now. Okay, we're back. So what I just did is I took almost an entire bunch of cilantro and I divided the stems from the leaves. So I'm still doing that, but I'm being choosy. I'm being real choosy. So we're almost ready to slice this up, and it's really going to be easy. I don't ever use a food processor. I take my time. You know, I should get a food processor. It's probably easier, but I don't want to liquefy anything, and I'm afraid of liquefying things with a food processor. I've actually never used one. So I have a blender. You can probably see it right there. But all right, let me get rid of the stems. Right in the trash. Okay, so a whole bunch of cilantro without stems should look about like this. All right. Now it all depends. So if I had less of this, I would use 3/4 of a bunch, or if I have way less, I'd use half a bunch. But since I'm using since I'm using so many tomatoes and so many onions, I'm gonna use an entire bunch of cilantro. So as you can see, what I just did, I hit the rows again. I'm gonna hit the rows the other side. All right. And what I'm doing is, as I hit down, I'm actually rocking the knife. You can barely see what I'm doing, but I'm rocking the knife as I work it down the row. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a peak row, and then I'm going to divide it again. Probably making my neighbors mad by this pounding, but it's not late, so this should be okay. Now the reason why I make Pico De Gallo is because it's so flavorful and it goes on so many things. I have a lot of recipes for Pico De Gallo. I eat it mainly, I put it over rice, but it can go on a lot of other things. Eggs, avocados, you can put it on steaks. I mean, you can do all kinds of good stuff with Pico De Gallo. And you can also make it into a hot sauce fairly easily. All right, so there you go. This is all of our cilantro, nicely chopped, and we're gonna throw it right on the top of all of our tomatoes and onions. Perfect. Okay. Next ingredient. So it's cilantro. I mean, Pico De Gallo is very easy to make. It's only like 5 ingredients. You can add more if you want. Sometimes I put lime in it, sometimes I don't. But the main ingredients are cilantro, serrano or jalapeno, tomatoes, onions, and salt. Like I said, I don't always put lime, but some people swear by putting lime in their Pico De Gallo. I don't put lime because I like to mix it with a lot of things, and I like to dip it with chips as well. All right, so your mix should look like that proportion. Okay, that's your proportion you're after. Now, next, serrano peppers. All right, so don't just go straight for the full serrano pepper. You're gonna have to test this thing, because some serrano peppers are hot and some are real mild. So the way I check mine is I cut the serrano into discs like this. I cut it. Then what I do, it sounds weird. What I do is I wet my knife like that, and I lick it with my tongue. And I'm not tasting any sort of heat at all, which is disappointing. But anyway, go ahead and chop this up. As you chop the seeds are what hold the capsaicin, the hot part of the pepper. So the more you cut those seeds, the more of the heat's going to come out. And plus, if you're putting this Pico De Gallo inside the fridge overnight or something like that, it'll soak in all the pieces. All right, here's this. But regardless of how hot it is, never touch your eyes after cutting without washing your hands again. All right, so I've brought a jalapeno as well. Let's wash that off. I washed the serrano pepper last time. So here we go. We're gonna do the same test for the jalapeno. Sometimes I use jalapenos, sometimes I use serranos. They didn't have any serrano peppers this time I went to the store, so I had to settle for a jalapeno. Sometimes jalapenos are hot though, so we gotta test it. There's not too many seeds in this jalapeno. I went ahead and ate that piece. Yeah, it's okay. It's hot, but it's not blazing hot. I'm being careful how I cut this, because as I cut, the seeds, they go jumping left and they jump right and they go all on the floor and things like that. So, you know, if you have a dog or if you have kids, be careful. Be careful when you cut peppers like this, because those little seeds will get everywhere and little kids will put them in their mouth and dogs will sniff them into their nose. You know, wonder what's going on with those dogs. All right, so my Pico De Gallo is just the heat I wanted, because as I've spent more time with this jalapeno that I just ate in my mouth, it's getting hotter and hotter. So I think we're good. I think we're good with the jalapeno. All right, last ingredient, salt. All right, so you're gonna want to put a lot of salt, but not so much that you ruin it. All right, so the salt's good to break down. What it does is it breaks down, not only does it taste good, but it breaks down all the ingredients as you put it in the refrigerator overnight. So here we go. Let me go and measure some of this out. I would put probably, for this amount, I might put that much salt. If you can see how much that is, I'm not really sure how much that is. But anyway, sprinkle it over the top, like so. Oh, that's a good amount of salt. I might need more than that, but that's it. So then what you do is you kind of mix it up. I use a handle of a, of course you can put the lid on, but I use the handle of a spatula and I mix it, and then what I'll do is I will go ahead and I'll go ahead and shake it after I'm done mixing it. But I like mixing it because I get all the cilantro mixed in real good. I'm turning and I'm mixing from the bottom. I'm turning and I'm mixing from the bottom. Such a good smell. And there you have it. There you have it. That's a little bit of Pico De Gallo. And so what I do, typically, take a look at that. So good. What I do is I typically, I take a little bit and I keep it in my fridge, but then I divide the last bit into two and I put it in the freezer. And what it does in the freezer is it kind of breaks down. The freezer actually cooks, almost breaks down and cooks the onions and tomatoes and makes them not so crispy anymore. So depending on how big of a party you're cooking for or whatever, basically what I do here is I make a big batch like this and I make it for future uses, because it takes a while to make, it takes a while to cut everything up. So we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us.